going on, everybody? This is Joe Welkie, and this is the Dating is Hard podcast. It is a podcast that's all about dating, relationships, sex, love, all that good stuff. If you want to know a little bit more about the show, you can go to datingisHardComedy.com. You can follow the Instagram at datingisHardComedy. You can follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie to see where all of my shows are and what's coming up with me. This podcast, I meet all my guests through dating apps, and I have profiles set up where it says, hey, I'm looking for people with the most interesting, absurd, unique dating stories possible. And sometimes you get to meet some really interesting and awesome people, and that's who I have on the show today. I met this woman through Tinder and Bumble, but we mainly got talking through Tinder, and I was a little skeptical that I was actually going to get to meet her because, sometimes communication breaks down, but I'm glad that we got her on the show and had a really fun time talking with her. So if you guys would like to sit back, relax, and enjoy my interview with Hailey. Hey everybody, welcome to yet another episode of the Dating is Hard podcast. I'm your host, Joe Welkie, and if you don't know what's going on with this podcast, if it's your first time listening, this is a podcast that's all about dating and relationships and stuff. And how I meet my guests is through dating apps. I made special profiles that say like, hey, I'm looking for people to come on my show that have interesting or special or unique stories about dating, and that is how I met my guest today, and all of my guests previously, pretty much. I don't know why I had to qualify it like this is different than what usually happens on this podcast. But today I would like to welcome to the show Hailey. Hailey, how's it going? What's going on? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Been looking forward to doing this. It's been like a couple of weeks in the making, I feel like,
Yeah.
We first got connected through Tinder.
Yeah, I think we matched on Bumble also.
Yes, we matched on Bumble too. Well, I think we matched on Bumble first, and then the 24 hours expired. But then we had already matched on Tinder, and I messaged you. I was like, we matched on Bumble too.
Yeah.
And then, you usually try to get that, like, trifecta going or whatever with, like, Bumble, Hinge, and then Tinder.
I don't really like Hinge.
You don't like Hinge?
No. I feel like you have to put a lot of information out there, and it's just, not that I'm, like, super private, which, I mean, I am, but also it's awkward, and I always get people, like, responding to specific answers that I don't like their response, so I'm just like, this is a waste of my time.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like Hinge is like the one. I think those responses like open it up for easy icebreakers, and you're like, oh, I hate when people.
Well, yeah. So one answer I put on is the question is like, who would you want to have to dinner or something like that, and Sandra Day O'Connor is like my idol, and I've looked up to her since I was 5. And everyone always responds, like, not RGB. And I'm like, obviously, I would want to have her to dinner. But, like, you're kind of denying me my idol since I was 5. So,
yeah. It's weird that they're like, your idol isn't good enough. You should pick somebody else. Well, I always mix up the initials. RGB has gotten like this huge resurgence recently where like everyone's like dressing up as her for Halloween and shit, and there was that documentary about her.
Yeah.
I feel like that like really boosted her visibility as opposed to, I don't know, I mean she was well known, but recently it just seems like she's gotten a huge boost in popularity for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely has to do with all of the other political stuff happening and like how she was the head of all of, like, women's stuff in the judicial system and whatnot, so I don't know. I mean, she's really cool, and I would love to sit down to dinner with her.
I would totally, if she asked me to dinner, I would totally have it with her. If she swiped on me on Tinder, I would totally swipe right.
Yeah.
We'd have a great match and a great time.
Yeah.
So how are the dating apps treating you? We briefly talked earlier. You were like, I think I'm going to take a break from this. This is too
Yeah.
not well. I'm guessing
No, not well.
you're on the Dating is Hard
Yes.
podcast, so it's probably not going too well.
No. I mean, dating is hard. Apps are so stupid because we like look at a picture and like a brief bio that somebody puts and we're like, oh, that's somebody that I want to be able to build a connection with, and you really know nothing about them. So it's like,
Yeah, and bios and pictures are also so misleading a lot of
Yeah.
times too. Where it's like, oh, I met you and you look, number one, you look nothing like your pictures. Or number two, it's like, I talk about this on this podcast a bunch where like it seems like you have good banter via texting and via the app, and then you meet the person and they're like, just have none of that.
yeah.
I think that's like the biggest problem that I've faced, where it's like, oh, I thought that you were like cool, and then I meet you and it's not the same.
Yeah. I feel like I'm the opposite though. I have like really bad texting banter, so it never goes anywhere. And then like in person, I'm like kind of okay, still awkward.
I'm one step above my
Yeah.
non-existent texting banter. So
Yeah.
you were talking about, so we met like an hour before this started, which is how this typically always goes. And like, that's the joy of the podcast, is like, I get to know you a little bit and like get to feel your vibe. And then we get it more into it, like once we start recording. But you said that you're like not big on texting. How do you usually communicate with people that you might want to meet up with from an app? Are you a phone call person?
No, I like really try to go with the texting until I can just like, I don't text a lot before I kind of like make dates like a week or less into starting to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I feel like I'm a better texter once I know somebody, but I'm also just don't like being attached to my phone in that way.
Yeah. Dude, there are so many people where I'm, especially with this podcast, where I'm constantly looking at my phone and I'm talking to so many people trying to get them to come on the show. And it's like, I'm on my phone constantly. Like, I'm already ready to like get off of it for the time being, because I've recorded a bunch of episodes and I've got like a little bit of a cushion that I can
Yeah.
like, I need a break from it. And I'm not even trying to date people right now. Like, I'm just trying to do this podcast and it's already overwhelming my life. It's just fucking
Yeah.
crazy. So how long do you typically like text with somebody before you like plan a date with them?
Well, I think I've only been on like six
6
dating app dates.
Uh-huh.
So, like a week. The stressful thing for me is like I hate texting, so it's like I'll like set a date and then it's like, oh shoot, do I have to text this person until that date, or can we just like stop communicating and then like wait to meet in person?
Is that how you'd prefer it to go down?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like you and I like started a couple of weeks ago and I kind of just stopped talking to you
Yeah.
completely. It's like,
Yeah, I kept like hounding you because,
Yeah.
dude, it's tough to get people to come on a podcast like this where there are also, people are on dating apps because they want to date people. They're not on like, hey, let me try and like get on a podcast. So I'm trying to like juggle, I'm trying to make it so that I'm more important than people who are like trying to find love on apps. And it's tough because, I'm not going to be as important as like an actual date,
yeah. But also I feel like people here in LA aren't really looking for love. They're
Yeah?
kind of just like looking for connections. I don't know.
How do you
That's
mean?
like what I've found.
What do you
And,
mean?
Like everybody has a priority in LA and it's more of like building their career and getting somewhere in life rather than like making genuine human connection and just like talking and letting go of everything else that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of like, follow me on Instagram on there. Is there a lot of that from the guys' side?
There's some, and you can tell by like their first picture how they're gonna be in their bio or in person.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is a signifier of like networking, business connection type of person?
they just very much look like a model or an actor. They have like a headshot somewhere in their pictures, and it's all like, I'm so cool kind of look.
Look at my glamorous life.
Yeah.
You can tell it's like sponsored content from Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Influencer bullshit. Ugh. So you've been on about like 6 dates, you said, from dating apps. How do you normally meet people? Or how have you met people in the past?
Dates? I actually haven't had a boyfriend since high school.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
7 years.
Dang.
How old am I? Yeah, 7 years. I mean, I like more recently out of college, and so I had like my friend group in college and like met guys that way, but didn't really have an interest in dating because it was college and I kind of just wanted to party and study. And now I don't know if I actually have an interest in dating, but I more recently moved out here and like get kind of lonely, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to make friends when you're constantly working.
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
certainly true.
yeah.
So how long have you been out here?
A year and a half.
Year and a half, and you're from Arizona, right?
Yes.
How many of those 6 dates have they all been out here?
I think so. Well, like, there were dates long ago at the beginning of college that I went on, but I'd say 6 out here, and they've all been a little weird.
How so? Let's get into it. How have they been weird?
I went out with this one actor, which is always kind of a red flag. Just because they're a little more out there.
How so?
And
wait, what is this? So a lot of the people that I interview on here are like, yeah, I went out with an actor, and they just trash actors.
Well,
what's the stigma, you think, with going out with an actor?
I think when you're not an actor and you're not pursuing something like that, it just, I don't know. My one girlfriend out here is an actor too, and it's more of like a theatrical personality, you know? Like not introverted, and I don't know. Love her, love Holly. Don't tell her I was saying anything like that.
I just texted her. I told her.
No, but I think for a relationship, it's not my cup of tea. I think actors are a little more like you definitely have that like, oh, they're just trying to make like film connections kind of thing going into it, and then also maybe they're just like a little more LA, I guess, than I am.
Explain it. A little more LA.
Like easily sucked into the world of like holistic and stuff like that.
Dude, I can't tell you how many people I've met that are all about holistic spirituality, zodiac stuff, and it just drives me fucking crazy.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll do it. I'll like
oh
look
my
at
god,
stuff,
Hailey, I had faith in you.
But it's not like the basis of my personality. I'm like, it's fun to look at, but there's reality on the other side of that.
Yeah, dude, there's so many people on my Instagram stories now that I see posting. It's like daily affirmations and all this shit, and it's, oh boy, it's a lot of stuff to handle, you know.
Too much optimism.
Dude, thank you. I was talking to somebody recently about this girl that I met on a dating app. Oh, no. My friend sent me a Instagram post of this one girl that is like a fitness inspiration person. And I told her, I was like, I was following her, but then I stopped following her because she was too positive for me. You know, like, there's too much positivity. Like, life isn't that great. Like,
no, it's not great at all. I mean, like, on an individual level, sure. But, like, look at the whole world. Everything's kind of going up in flames.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I don't know. I understand the value of being positive, of course. Obviously, I get that, but to be like that all day, every day is so phony to me. Like, you
Yeah.
have to have days where you're like, fuck, dude. Like, do you ever just wake up some days and you have a feeling in the pit of your stomach? You're just like, this is already a bad day. I just woke up.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah. Basically today.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I wake up sometimes. You know, like that feeling in your stomach where it's like you're about to get caught or like you're in trouble. Some days I'll just wake up like that for no reason. It's like,
Yeah.
why do I feel like I'm about to get in trouble and there's no reason?
Yeah. It's just like guilt for no reason.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
What's wrong with us?
Maybe that's why we're so pessimistic.
Do you also grow up Catholic or something?
No. I did not.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, 6 dates in LA.
Yes.
All have been a little weird. What was your most normal one? Like, what do you do? Hold on, before we get into that, what's your idea of a good first date? If you were to like be able to pick anything to do, what would your ideal first date be?
I like to go get drinks because it like loosens me up, and I'm super introverted, and I feel like it kind of helps bring a little bit more of an extroverted side out of me. So also I get like a lot of anxiety when it comes to dates. Like meeting new people just makes me really anxious. So I kind of use alcohol as a crutch sometimes.
Does not sound good.
Not always. I'm completely sober right now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why? What's going on?
Oh no, like I meant because we
right
just
now,
met.
yeah. We're hopped up on fucking
Mm-hmm.
coffee, baby.
Yeah, I'm a little on edge.
So, typical first date, drinks. Do you have like a favorite bar that you normally would go to or suggest?
I always like to suggest somewhere new that I want to try out because I like going to new bars and like seeing newer areas, but like staying in the valley because that's where I live.
Yeah.
Once somebody says something like West Hollywood or Over the Hill, I'm just like, no, go away.
Nah, dude, this is never gonna work out.
That is a long distance relationship here. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes. Oof, never mind. Not
Yeah,
interested.
because it could easily turn into 2 hours.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Especially if they're along one of the major places. Like this one girl that was like she and I were trying to date. She lived in Brentwood and I live in Glendale, and like without traffic, that's 40 minutes.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's like, dude, this is never gonna work.
No, I matched with this guy that works in film, and he lives in Anaheim, and he like still wanted to go out with me, and I was like, okay, as long he like offered to come to me, so like the 40 miles to go on a date with me, so I was like, cool, that works for me. But also that's not something I want to get myself into.
You're like, get used to this drive, buddy, because I ain't going to Anaheim.
No, unless I'm going to Disneyland. Like,
well, yeah, that's definitely the
and
exception.
he's paying for that.
That's always crazy to me when it's like, how long is your radius?
Oh my god, I don't know. Well, since he works in film, he was kind of closer to me when we matched.
Okay.
But also, I just can't imagine making that commute every day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I don't understand how it's worth it. Like, it might be cheaper, might be like more low key, but also.
Yeah, I just can't fathom making that much of a drive. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a little wild.
Yeah.
When people match with you and they're like, yeah, I'm 40 miles away. Let's try and make it work. It's like, this is never going to work. That's so far.
Yeah.
If we were living in Colorado or South Dakota.
Yeah.
But now we're going to add LA traffic on top of that?
Yeah.
No fucking way, dude.
I typically keep my radius at like 5 to 10 miles.
Yeah, same. So did you go out with the guy?
No, we had a date planned, and then I got a lot of anxiety, so I
My
canceled
God,
it.
Hailey.
Well, okay, so he seemed really great, and wanted to come to me, so I was like, cool, I'll give him a chance. But there were also so many cons with him living 40 miles away and some other things, so it's like, I'm just gonna say I have to work. And he texted me back and he was like, oh, cool, I was gonna cancel, I have to work too. So...
Do you think it was more like he was butthurt? Or he was like, oh, I was going to cancel anyway.
Yeah. But also, he was 40 miles away, so...
Yeah, it wasn't going to work out anyway.
Yeah.
That's such a bummer.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you look like he was a promising person.
He was a little weird.
Really? Why? What?
Well, he kept sending me videos instead of texting. Like,
really?
He would answer my texts with videos of himself talking. So it was really weird. Like, I'm not much of a texter, so getting these videos and having to watch them was really awkward for me.
That's also just inconvenient because you can't always watch a video.
Yeah, I know. It was the first time he did it. He was like, sorry I did this. I, like, didn't want to text while I was walking. 'Cause, I don't know.
What? Is there some kind of hazard with that?
Probably. Somewhere in Anaheim there is.
It's illegal to walk and text.
Yes. But then the next 5 times he did it, I was like, this is not going to work out. Yeah. And he texted me at like 5 in the morning.
What?
When he got up to go to work. Like, I felt kind of like a lot of pressure coming from him. Like, he wanted us to already be in a relationship before we went on our first date.
Jeez.
So I was like, this isn't gonna work.
No, buddy. This ain't working out for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's understandably weird.
Yes.
Yeah, I had one person that I matched with from Bumble who would do that same thing, would like answer my text messages with like videos. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what are you doing?
You ask them?
No, it was a weird situation where, I don't know, she just seemed like a weird spiritual type of person like we were talking about earlier. And I was like, I guess this is just like a quirk that she has or something. And then after, like, we ended up not meeting. But she was like really nice, but we never ended up, she ghosted me after a while. And I was like, well, where'd these videos go, lady? You know?
So you were looking forward to them.
I was. She was really cute, and I think I talked about this on a previous episode of the podcast. She was like a kind of semi-famous actress, and so I was like, "What is going on with you?" It's like I still wanted to just like go out with her to be like say that I did,
yeah,
because it's like, oh, whoa, this is pretty cool, but and like only happens in LA or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, then she ghosted me, but whatever happens, I guess. But it was definitely weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, you know, I'll be at work or something, and I can't watch a video with sound on. Like, the guy sitting next to me is like, what are you fucking doing, dude? What is this video you're watching? She's like, oh, it's this chick that I matched with on a dating app. This is how she responds. It's like, ew.
Awkward because you can't even say, like, oh, it's my girlfriend. Like, so that wouldn't be awkward, but it's like, this person I've never met.
This complete stranger sending me videos of her walking around answering text messages.
Oh, God.
So,
my guy and her seem like a perfect match.
Maybe, yeah, she's an actress. This guy worked in film. Let's hook it up.
Yeah.
So have you had any, like, good dates that you were like, this could go somewhere?
Not from dating apps.
Has there ever been a person that made it past a first date from a dating app?
Yeah, I've done like a couple. Mm-hmm. The actor guy was 3 dates, and I was just like so not into it by the third one.
What happened?
So the first one, we went to a bar in Hollywood, and he lived like a mile away from me. So I'm like, why can't we just go to a bar near us? And then the second date, we went to a Halloween party. So it was like almost a year ago that I met him.
Yeah.
And that was kind of just a fail. Like, something happened that made me kind of uncomfortable, so I left the date. And then the third one, he was like, let's do something sober so that we could, like, really get to know each other. And he wanted to go to a movie at City Walk. So I drove to City Walk, paid $25 to park.
Yep.
And then he didn't pre-buy tickets to the movie, so it, like, gave me a lot of anxiety, and, like, I was a little bit angry because in LA you always pre-buy tickets.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you had to do that." Like, you didn't.
Was it like the opening weekend of the movie?
I think so. Well, it was the
Okay.
opening weekend of a lot of movies, so I don't know. So we didn't go to a movie. I didn't get reimbursed for my parking, and then I had to drive him home. And he was like, "Oh, let's go mini golfing." And I was like, "Sure, let's do that. That'll be fun. We can be sober." And then on the way to mini golfing, he was like, "Oh, let's just go to this bar in North Hollywood." And I was like, okay. So we, like, turn around, start going to the bar, and then halfway there, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, you
On
already...
the drive there, you're like, fuck this.
Yeah, so I was just like, this is not gonna be our night, so I'm just gonna take you home. Then he never texted me again.
Oh, no.
It was fine.
If he-
I
I
didn't
mean,
want him
yeah,
to.
if
Yeah,
he
it was kind of
would've-
like mutual ghosting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point, it's not even ghosting. It's just like we both
Yeah.
recognize this isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are always nice.
Yeah.
When it's like, you don't even, it just is unspoken. Where you're like, this isn't a thing, but we don't have to be rude about it.
Yeah.
We don't have to
No.
force that awkward conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
Ew.
No. That kind of, like, brings to mind, I said earlier that I had a bad date last week. So
Yeah,
I'm, like, done dating.
when we first met, I was like, so like you're on dating apps, like what's going on? And you were like, yeah, I had a terrible date Thursday. I think I'm done with dating for a bit. And I was like, save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
So this happened last week. What went down? Why did this person ruin dating for you?
I got ditched.
You got
At the
ditched?
bar, yeah.
What?
Yeah. So
Like, did you get stood up or you?
No, like, we were there. I said I had to go to the bathroom, and then he left.
Whoa.
Yeah. So maybe I'll get your opinion on, like, if it's, like, warranted, or, like, maybe he just thought that I was okay with him just leaving. But so he texted me. We matched on Thursday, started texting, and he was like, "Oh, I just want to ask you questions in person. Let's meet up tonight." And so we go to a bar in West Hollywood.
You gotta
Just rolled my eyes.
You gotta stop with this West Hollywood bar hopping.
I know.
Well, this is also out of character for you because it was like you matched that day and then
Yeah.
you're gonna go out that night.
I thought it was, like, really sweet of him. I asked him how his day went, and he, like, was like, "Oh, it was good. I'd ask you the same, but, like, I want to ask you in person." So I was like, "Oh, that's really cute, and also I don't like texting, so this is perfect."
That worked out perfectly.
So Thursday night, I, like, get ready, wasn't planning on going out, go to this bar, like, 10 o'clock, late for Thursday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going horribly at first. Like, it was going well. We were just talking, getting to know each other. And then I could, like, feel a little bit of a shift, and things weren't, like, horrible, but they weren't going great. And, like, I could tell there wasn't going to be a second date or whatnot.
From his side or from your side?
Kind of both. Like,
What
I don't know. He asked...
was there a specific moment with
Yeah, I think there was.
what
Like,
happened? Can you pinpoint it?
Yeah, he started to ask kind of my political views, and I think that I don't love talking about that on the first date, and I kind of just went with it, though. So, like, it got weird on my end, the things I was saying, and then I could tell he just wasn't into it. Like, he stopped drinking his drink, and we, like, you could tell inches were, like, getting put in between us, but it wasn't that bad, because we were still, like, conversing and chatting, and, like, nobody was, like, angry at the other person, or, like, visually you couldn't tell. And then he was like, "Okay, do you want to leave? It's getting late." I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom first." And on my way to the bathroom, I was like, he's gonna ditch me. Like, I kind of want him to. I kind of just want this to be over.
Did you spend some extra time in the bathroom?
No, I, like, just went to the bathroom, and I come out, and he's not at the table that we were at. And so I go outside to call an Uber, and he wasn't outside. And then I texted him because I was like, I'm a little bit shocked. Even though I thought he was going to ditch me, like, I didn't think anybody would actually do that. And he blocked my number and deleted me off the dating app.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, even though things were getting awkward, is that not, like, a really rude thing to do?
Yeah, that's kind of rude. I definitely would have, if it were me, I would have. Well, I also don't know how spirited the debate or like political conversation was.
Yeah.
So if it's, I'm also only getting your side of the story. So if it was like you were like pointing fingers in his face, like you're a fucking piece of shit or something. But if it remains civil or something, like I've had dates where I can tell that it's not good or I'm not interested in the person anymore, but I will always stay a while. Like my thing is like I'll wait with the person, be as courteous as possible while I'm there, but then once, well, I also try to stay as courteous as possible, but like once the date is over, I'll text them and be like, hey, like this wasn't, I can tell this wasn't a thing, like it was totally nice to meet you or whatever, but I just don't feel like this is going to go anywhere. I've never just straight up ditched somebody like that.
Yeah, it was just like shocking because I know he like probably wasn't enjoying it, but also like he could have at least texted me and been like, hey, I don't think this is gonna work out, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Instead of,
or at least waited for you to get an Uber. Like he didn't even have to drive you home or anything. Yeah, that's weird. It's also funny for me to hear because I've heard so many stories about women doing that to men, and I've never heard a story of a guy doing that to a woman.
Really? I honestly have never heard any stories. Like, nobody told me a story about, like, them ditching someone or someone ditching them. Like, I always thought it was, like, just a thing that I knew someone would do, but I never thought it would actually happen.
I would have never expected it to happen to a woman. Like, that's ballsy, though.
Yeah.
What was the disagreement about with the...
I mean, he didn't really say anything. I was so thrown off by, like, him actually asking me about, like, political stuff, and so things were kind of just coming out of my mouth, and, like, it might sound stupid, but it was just, like, things that maybe I didn't even agree with, so... I don't know.
Do you not want to get into the what was the conversation
not really.
about? Okay.
But at one point I did say I don't want to talk about this, and so it was like, I don't know. I just feel like he kind of prematurely judged me, and we had previously talked about people being judgmental, and
then he went ahead and did it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really, I haven't really run into something like that where it's just like a fundamental disagreement and then you just like kind of keep pursuing the conversation.
Yeah.
It seems very out there and bizarre to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you.
It's not that big of a deal. It's better to like take someone off my list as soon as possible.
That's true. It was only first date, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You matched that day and met that night. So, yeah, nothing like you weren't invested and like found out 4 months into it. It's like, I think that the moon isn't real or something.
The Earth is flat.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, dude, I'm looking forward to meeting people like that.
No.
I would love to. Like, I haven't met a Scientologist out here yet.
Yeah, neither have I.
We've been here for a while.
I feel like maybe they're just really contained in the Scientology buildings.
Yeah,
they don't
probably.
let them out.
Yeah, they're probably not on Tinder. There's probably some kind of Scientology app.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. I was thinking I want to get on. I talked to somebody else about this, but I want to get on. There's a Trump singles app. And I would love to get on that and like try and get...
Do you have to verify that you're a Trump supporter?
I don't know. I think you could just buy a MAGA hat and put it on and like take a picture and be like, hey, I'm just doing a podcast and like pose it. But then it's distrustful.
Yeah. But also then you're supporting Trump by buying the hat.
That's true too. But if it's for the good of the podcast, I don't know. I feel like also a lot of Trump people in LA wouldn't want to be interviewed on a podcast and like expose themselves. I feel like it's a secret society.
Yeah.
Same with Scientologists. But they have to be interesting, you know? What's dating life like for a Scientologist?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good question. I've always wanted to go in the building and like see.
You've never gone in the building?
No. It's scary.
I went on a first date with a girl in DC, and she was like, let's just go to the Scientology building just for fun. And I was like, oh boy. So we went there, and it was all right. It was weird. I didn't get like programmed or anything, or I didn't get my whatever reading, but it was funny to like look around there. But I would love to interview somebody just to see like what it's like. Like I'm trying to get like as many walks of life as possible on here. Yeah. And that'd be one that I'd like to explore. But, you know, maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe.
But until then, what's the worst first date that you've been on out here? Was it that one, you think? Where you got, well, that's pretty bad. You got ditched.
Yeah, maybe that one. I think that like kind of shoots to the top. But honestly, none of them have gone well. It's kind of funny how there's always like a turning point in my dates that's like it's going well and then something happens and it's like this is our last date.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you provide another example?
There was this other guy I went out with. We got drinks at a bar and I went to the bathroom, and when I came back he was like, was it back there? I like made a joke. I was like, no, I just stood in a corner for a couple seconds. And he's like, oh, whatever you need to do to not make this awkward. And I was just like,
I feel like the turning point of all of your dates is when you go to the bathroom.
Yes, that is very true. No,
but
like,
what is this chick going to the bathroom for?
Not supposed to. I'm a robot.
Yeah.
But like I didn't think the date was awkward. And then he kind of made it awkward by making me think that it was awkward. So
you got gaslit.
Yeah, kind of.
Into thinking the date was awkward because you had to pee or something.
Yeah. No. So the rest of that date I took him to Flappers for like a late night comedy.
Flappers! My fucking haunt, baby, except I don't get booked there anymore for some reason because I asked a question about, this is such bullshit. This is going to be like a complete
I want to hear it.
So I used to get booked at Flappers a lot for their Thursday night shows in their side room called the Yoo-Hoo Room. Mm-hmm. And then I kept seeing like people that are like my peers getting like weekend spots and started to get paid spots. So I sent an email to the like booker or whatever and being like, hey, I've been doing your Thursday shows. They've been going well. Like I've been bringing people. Like what do I need to do to take a next step to start maybe like getting some weekend shows? And I got an email back that was like, you should take our class on how to do stand-up. It's like, dude, I've been doing stand-up for 11 and a half years. I'm not going to take a class. And then ever since that email, I haven't gotten booked there. So I was like, ooh, fuck.
They just want you to pay.
Yeah, they just want my money, baby. What else is new? So you went to the late night show at Flappers.
Yeah, and I was sitting there and I was like, this is actually going really well. And then I was like, oh, it's because we're not talking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the sign of a good time.
No.
You're just like sitting blankly staring at comedians.
Yeah.
Was it a good show though?
It was. No, I really enjoyed that part.
Flappers.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, they usually say that you shouldn't go on a first date to something like that.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting to know each other and you're not talking. You're like, this is going really well.
Yeah. Well, I think it was more of like I'm trying to get this date over with, but he like still wants to hang out for some reason. So I was like, let's just go here.
So what is your favorite dating app? What do you think is the one that you have most success on? Or is the best, I guess, for your purposes? I don't know what your purposes are. Which interface do you think is the best?
I like Bumble, except it is kind of annoying that like you only get so long to talk to someone and whatnot. The one I feel like maybe I have the most success on, Tinder. I get a lot of messages, but I never reply.
You're the worst.
Yeah, because I guess I'm really just not interested in dating, but I'm on it more for entertainment. Because, like, I get bored, and so I, like, waste time swiping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you pay for it?
No.
Yeah, fuck
Why
that.
would I pay for something why would I pay for something I could get free?
Exactly.
I'm one of those people that I will cut my own hair.
Really?
Yes.
It's always odd to me because there have been people that I've talked to where they're like, yeah, I pay for it. It's like, who the fuck pays for it? So now I'm always like curious to see who's doing it.
Well, I have recently matched with people that are like, I'm going to be out in LA in a couple of months. And so those people are obviously paying for it.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten on Bumble some, like, rematches where they obviously paid to rematch me. And I was like, I didn't talk to you for a reason in the first place. You just wasted your money.
What do you look for in, like, swiping right on a person? Like, is there something in a profile that sticks out to you? Like, if they have this that is attractive to you? Or is it literally just looks?
It's literally just looks. But not, like, necessarily, like, oh my god, you have to be the hottest person. It's like, I want to be physically attracted to somebody going out with them. So, I don't know. Yeah,
that's kind of the point or purpose of it, because it's such a heavy, like, emphasis on the pictures.
Yeah. But, like, you can't get to know somebody over an app or over texting, really. At least I can't. So, like, it's just easier to, like, you see someone, like, it's like at a bar. You see someone you're attracted to, and then you walk up to them. Like, you see someone on an app that you're attracted to, you swipe, and then you go meet them.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense.
You're not going to wait for, like, people don't go to bars with, like, things on their shirt, like, these are my interests, and, like, this is what I do for a living. And then you're like, point. Oh, I love your interests. No.
That's a very good point. Yeah. I guess no one's ever put it like that. Like, I always knew that was true, but the way that you just put that really crystallized it for me. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that you would never know what a person's all about if you're just approaching them in person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just never approach people in person anymore.
I mean, neither do I.
Well, no one expects women to approach people.
I don't know. I feel like when a girl does go up to someone in person or something, there's, like, maybe more success rate because it's like you have so much confidence to walk up to a guy.
Yeah.
In person.
Do a lot of people come up to you in person, like at bars or anything?
No.
Yeah. I feel like that part of, like, dating is being phased out now. Yeah, I've read so many articles about, like, oh, I'm not at the bar to, like, be hit on by you. I'm not at the gym to be hit on by you. So it's like, I'm never going to approach a woman in real life anymore. Yeah.
Well, I don't go to the gym for that reason. Because, like, I don't want people to, like, I'm literally here to work out. Anywhere in public except a bar. Like, if I go to a bar, then I might be, like, open to somebody coming up to me. But, like, anywhere else, I'm just like, go away. In high school, I used to get, like, these really weird people coming up to me at the mall, and I was like, sorry. I got at the gas station once, somebody, like, circled around multiple times to ask me for my number.
At a gas station?
Yes, I was so uncomfortable. It was the middle of the night, and this guy, he asked me for a cigarette at first, circled around, and he's like, could I get your number? And I was like, same answer as the cigarette.
Yeah. That's even, like, threatening.
Yes, I was less than a mile from my house, and I was like, oh my god, I'm about to get killed.
Yeah. That's creepy as fuck. Yes. Like, gas station number one is a creepy place to be anyway. Like, no one would ever want to hang out at a gas station. Like, how are you going to tell that to, your grandkids? Like, how did you and grandpa meet?
Oh my god, no.
Oh, he was circling a gas station, and he asked me for a cigarette, and I didn't have any, or I don't smoke. And then he was like, you know what? I like your style, lady. I want you. And you're like, yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah. No.
That has to have worked for somebody, though.
It
otherwise,
totally does.
Otherwise,
I mean, like, maybe in the 50s.
Oh, definitely in the 50s.
But, like...
At the sock hops, sweetheart. We're going to go meet you at the gas station. Look at this tomatoes, whatever. I don't know. Do you have any, like, deal breakers? Like, if you see something on somebody's profile that you're like, automatically just like, nope.
I don't love when people say that they like frequently smoke weed or are like frequent drinkers because it's like kind of borderlining something that I don't really want to deal with. My boyfriend in high school was like a pothead, and it was like it's an addiction. It's like a lot more than you think it is, and frequently is a lot.
Yeah. Dude, I was talking to this one girl recently so I don't drink or smoke or do drugs or anything. I've never done it. And she was like, I don't know how you deal with emotions. Like, I don't know how you deal with getting emotions because if I go a day without smoking weed, I just cry all day. And it's like, these are people, like, the big argument about weed is like, it's not addictive. But
She
you
has
can
a
just,
dependency.
yeah,
Like,
dude, right?
yeah, that's
You just get into the habit of doing it
yeah.
and you rely on it so much to deal with, I don't know,
Well, like now in her brain, she thinks that she can't go a day without crying, so she's not gonna go a day without crying if like she doesn't.
yeah.
You know, that's
I also had another woman where I told her I've never drank, and she was like, "How do you make the first move ever?" And I was like, "I have confidence in myself." I just, And the thing is, like, she was married too, so it was like,
oh.
it's like, oh, do you always have to like take a shot before you kiss your husband, or you know? She's like, I gotta kiss this fucking guy again. I'm gonna get a little wasted or something. It's fucking weird. Who knows, man? I don't know. It's always weird though it's always weird when I like drop that bomb because the typical first date, like you said, is like, let's get drinks, and then I'm be like, oh, I don't drink, and then they'll feel uncomfortable sometimes, or they'll just be like, I'm not interested if you don't drink, because people, that's a big part of their life.
Yeah.
And I get it, but it sucks when it happens. It's like, oh, I thought this was going somewhere, but then like because I don't drink or whatever, it's now it's not.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I've also had people where it's like, oh, what's your zodiac sign? And tell them I'm a Scorpio. And they're like,
Oh.
I've been unmatched 3 times because of that. Where they're just like, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work.
I think that's so ridiculous because not everybody that is a Scorpio can be exactly the same. So I have this one friend that's like, oh, I've never gotten along with Virgos. And I'm like, well, you just haven't met the right Virgo.
Yeah, how many Virgos have you realistically met and tried to get along with that you don't even know?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's LA for you. All that spirituality bullshit. I don't know. I just can't fucking do it anymore. Oh my god. So, have you had any like promising? No, I guess not. Are you gonna just get off of apps, you think, soon?
I think so. Yeah.
Take a break.
Yeah, I like have a lot coming up, so
Yeah.
there's really no point. And like I don't go on dates. I don't know. I did go on some promising dates with this guy that worked in the same building as me, but we didn't match on Tinder or anything. We like talked in person.
You met in real life, baby.
Yeah.
Real life connections.
Exactly. But it didn't work out,
Yeah,
obviously.
well, there you go.
Nothing ever works out.
Oh my god.
kidding.
Not with that attitude.
No, I'm just done. I feel like I've been you're looking for something that isn't there when you're like, it's hard because there's so many people in the city. How am I going to look at a picture and be like, oh, we're a match made in heaven? We're not.
Ouch. Zing to all the men listening out there. Just shutting everybody down before you even get to know them. Come on, that's just... I don't know. That makes me sad to hear that. But I mean, I understand the busy part of it.
Yeah.
Like, there have been people... Like, my profile is very much like, hey, I'm looking for people to be on a podcast. And then yesterday, I got a match with a girl, and her first message to me, this was on Bumble, she was like, so you're not on here for dating purposes? And I was like, not at the moment, and then immediately unmatched.
Oh, that's stupid.
No, it's not that stupid. It's like, that's not what she's looking for. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, you could have just never swiped right on me, I guess.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're busy there's so many people out here trying to accomplish dreams, and they take so much time.
Yeah.
It's brutal. But anyway, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. We're about to wrap up. I'm going to ask you the questions that I ask everybody
Okay.
on the podcast.
Okay.
It'll be quick. I see you're looking at your watch.
Yeah.
You got some place to go. If you could change one thing about dating, what would it be? If you magic wand, change one thing.
My awkwardness.
You want to change something within yourself.
Yeah.
That's something I haven't heard before. Like, usually people are like, oh, I wish that other people or this app did this or whatever. But you're like, I wish I wasn't so awkward about it.
I mean, it's the most realistic change. I can't tell an app to change something. Like, that's probably not going to happen. Can't tell other people to change themselves.
Yeah.
So, like, I would just like to be a little bit more extroverted, which I'm working on.
How are you working on that?
I came here today.
You were about to cancel on me.
Yes, I was.
And I could tell. I was like, this is getting iffy. I feel like I had to like confirm 1,000 times, but that's just the thing out here. You have to confirm. I posted a tweet the other day that was like, if you make plans more than 5 days ahead of time with someone in LA, those plans technically don't exist.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, what's one piece of advice that you would like to give everybody listening about dating?
I guess take everything with a grain of salt. Like, I've obviously gone on some bad dates, or mostly bad dates, and I mean, it's not exactly ruined my hope in life.
There you go. That's good. Take everything with a grain of salt, even though that everything is going terribly.
Just need a break.
All right, well, this is the last part of the show that I was talking with you about. If you want to tell people to follow you on Instagram, give it out. If not, got a book or a movie that you think everybody should watch to recommend or something?
Book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. It's about the Golden State Killer and, like, her thing. I love true crime. That's my thing. But nice. It's about her, like, life journey and finding the Golden State Killer.
Hell yeah. Sounds like a good book to look up.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, Hailey, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And there you have it, everybody. That was my interview with Hailey. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I'm going to check out that book, check out all of the stuff that she recommended, and I think that we got some good insight as to why some things don't work out for people, you know? There's a lot of moving parts, and, you know, some people have anxiety, some people just get nervous for first dates, and you never know what you're going to run into out there. And, yeah, hopefully it's nice that we all, you know, kind of still get along and try to have a positive outlook no matter how bad it can get, you know? It was really nice to talk to Hailey and meet her and get to have her on the podcast. I had a really great time talking with her. If you want to know more about the show, you can go to datingishardcomedy.com. You can follow the Instagram at datingishardcomedy. You can follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie. You can even contact the show on the website and all that good stuff. If you guys wouldn't mind subscribing, tell your friends about the show. If you're enjoying it, give it a 5-star rate and review and do all that good stuff that helps make podcasts even more successful and huge than they already are. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying listening to the show because I know I certainly am having fun doing it. The Dating is Hard live show is every 4th Wednesday at Pack Theater at 9:30. Pack is a by donation theater, which means that if you can afford to throw some money the theater's way, please do it. It helps put on great shows like Dating is Hard and all kinds of other hilarious sketch and improv shows. But if you can't donate money, if money's a little tight, if you just don't feel like it, you know what? You're still invited to come to all of the great shows that happen at PAC, like Dating is Hard. Yeah, that's about it. Looking forward to you guys listening to the next episode. I am looking forward to putting it out, and I hope that you all have a great week. I don't know where this really went off the rails. I don't know. But yeah, have a great week. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.